Douglas Reilly, Senior Director, Brand Management, Lucasfilm.
So let's start by talking a little about the role video games currently play in the official canon of Star Wars.
So everything we do now is continuity. So there is no extended universe anymore. So every story we tell, whether it's in video games, comic books, the novels, they're all part of one continuity across all the stories we tell in Star Wars.
You just mentioned novels. There's going to be a specific tie-in to Inferno Squad. Can you talk a little about that July release and how that ties into Battlefront 2?
So the book is telling sort of a pre-story, much like we did with Catalyst for Rogue One. So it's an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about the characters you're going to meet in the game and what they were doing before you see them in the first moment you see them in the game, who they are, how they were formed, what experiences they've had that they bring into the game.
And talk a little about introducing a brand new element like these elite soldiers to the Star Wars universe for the first time.
Well, it's been a really great collaborative effort with the folks at DICE and Motive, where they brought an idea they had for something that they wanted to introduce into the Star Wars world, and we worked with Story Team and our game production team to try and bring that vision to life. And that new squadron is sort of the byproduct of that collaboration.
You guys also work together to bring a brand new planet. Can you talk a little about the process of what it means? Because there's a lot of planets already out there in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, so it's really great. I mean, they wanted to have a planet that didn't feel like it was the evil empire. It was sort of what it would be for a planet to have embraced the empire and the order that it brought to it. And so the structure of the architecture, the plants, and everything was sort of representative of this idea of an embracing of order in a world of chaos.
How does it work? Do you guys have like a is it by committee, or how does it work at LucasArts in terms of those that are overseeing the canon and how they work with external companies?
It really is a group effort. So we have the story team, which obviously works a lot with our folks. We also have the designers from the film. So Doug Chang and other folks help collaborate on the look with our art director on my games team. And so it's a whole group effort across the whole company of, hey, what does it look like? What is the story behind these environments? What does the architecture look like? And then we take that expertise and knowledge and insight and we bring that with our partners to help realize their vision.
Can you talk a little about the fact that this is focusing on the quote-unquote bad guys and putting people in control of a new heroine that's fighting for the dark, the Empire?
Yeah, so I think it's really, the way you should look at it is it's viewing the world from their perspective. So they don't think of themselves as the bad guys. They think of them as actually dealing with bad guys. And so it's really an opportunity, I think, to view the Empire from that perspective of if you were someone who didn't know that this was all being orchestrated by truly bad people and you thought you were on the side of good, what would that feel like when the Death Star 2 happened and you had an ultimate defeat? And what would the reaction be for you within that environment?
When it comes to Star Wars, the films have always explored both the Empire, the rebellion, and the Empire back and forth. Can you talk about the role that type of storytelling will play in this game? Even though you're focusing on the Empire, there still will be the rebellion as well integrated into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be some moments where you get to play other key characters like Luke. So you get to see, much like the films where you jump from one side to the other, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give you opportunities to see the events that are happening from different perspectives, not just the perspective of Iden and the Empire.
There's also going to be the ability to play as heroes like Darth Maul. Can you talk about him in this game, especially since some people thought he might not have lived?
So that's in multiplayer. So we're giving people the opportunity to even more so than the previous Battlefront, play with a variety of heroes across all three trilogies, in environments across all three of those movies, or three of those trilogies as well.
What does multiplayer open up from your perspective to be able to go across all the different eras of films?
So I think what it does for us is it gives all of our fans, whether you started in 1977, 1987, 1997, or beyond, the opportunity to play in those environments that you're most interested in, that you're most having the greatest affinity for, and for our fans who like all of them, the ability to play across an entire spectrum. Whereas in a single-player campaign, you're focusing on maybe a single character and a handful of environments. Multiplayer lets people live out a lot of fantasies across a wide variety of locales and timelines.
And you guys were able to, with the last Battlefront, tie into Rogue One through DLC. I know you guys have announced the Last Jedi DLC, but how does that work when you guys you have EA making the games, you have filmmakers working on the movies and trying to tie all that stuff in together?
Yeah, that can be a little bit of a challenge. The good news is I think that's part of where the collaboration and the close contact between EA and Lucasfilm has been really important. It gives us the ability to share with them where we're directionally heading with a lot of this material. Now, sometimes there are some things that aren't even done or baked, but we can bring them along. And as we're developing, for example, with the previous Battlefront Jakku, we literally had the filmmakers sitting down with us going, this is what this is going to look like, this is what that's going to look like, here's how we're going to color correct something. And so we can try and build towards the same place they're building towards, even if it's not completed at that point. And that's been a very unique experience, I think, in the last couple of years.
Do you find a lot of these filmmakers are also gamers themselves, so they're excited about this element?
Yeah, certainly the filmmakers we've worked with have been very supportive and very helpful in helping us realize a vision for their films within the gaming space.
And also with the last Battlefront, they were able to create a VR mission. ILMX Lab has been very busy with VR. What role do you see that playing within the Star Wars universe?
So I think that's going to continue to be very important to us. XLab was actually very helpful in collaborating with us on the VR mission, as was Gareth Edwards. He was very helpful in helping us bring that together. We had some of the talent from the film who voiced it. And this is where I think we bring something very unique to the gaming space. We can bring all of those tools to bear. And so we're always pushing the boundaries of technology and storytelling within Lucasfilm. And wherever there's a chance for us to tell something new and different, we will do it.
And you guys also bring in brand new actors to the franchise, like Janina Gavankar. Can you talk about what she brings to the table as this new heroine?
She's been really great. She's a super actor. She's brought her own voice to Iden, and even has been working, as you saw on the panel, her talking with the author about kind of the motivations for her character and what she thought about things. And so she's been a really great asset to the experience.